All right, I apologize, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We call the meeting to order and ask that we stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Nichols, would you do the roll call, please?
Certainly, Madam President. Mayor Hempkins. Present. President Trueheart. Present. Vice President Roadplow.
Here.
Councilor Beatty.
Present.
Councilor Francis is excused. Councilor Monroe. Councilor Peets. Present. Councilor Jones Waters.
Present.
Kilkenny Law.
Present.
Finance Director is present. Tax Collector. Pannoni Engineering is excused as well, Madam President. You have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, we will have our citizens forum. We will open that up. And I call Ms. Clara Johnson.
Good evening to all.
Good evening.
Mine's is really short tonight. I don't know if you would call it a complaint or what. I don't call it a complaint. But I'm looking at those blinds that's in back of you guys, filthy. And I think that we can do something about it, whether it comes out of general budget or out of public works budget. But I think that we should take a look and replace those blinds. I don't think water is going to do it. That's not a complaint. That's a solution.
Thank you.
You.
Yes, go ahead.
So, Ms. Johnson, just for your knowledge and information, we have had some conversation about that internally. There is a process in which we're going through now where we're going to be deep cleaning and replacing blinds and window treatments throughout the borough. And you'll see some minor upgrades. We just needed to get the tax dollars rolling a little bit so that we can start that process, but it was budgeted for the 2026 year.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Craig Powell. Please.
This is to the Mayor, Rohan Hepkins, Supervisor of our Public Safety, and the Yeadon Borough Council. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here this evening to alert our community at large of something that we should be concerned with. We often say that if you see something, then say something, which is why I'm here to let you know what I have seen. I live on the corner of Cypress Street and Whitby Avenue here in the borough. A few weeks ago, a car that was involved in a stolen car chase, as I was informed, ran the stop sign at this intersection and crashed into my fence, which was the only thing that prevented the driver from crashing directly into my house. Now, I wish I could say that this was a one-off, but unfortunately, it is not. This is the second time someone has crashed into my fence. My car has been hit twice while parked near this intersection, and my sister's car has also been hit while parked near the same intersection of Cypress Street and Whitby Avenue. I have also seen 2 additional accidents that fortunately did not involve my house or my car. I can tell you the problem, but I need your help with the solution. Here's the situation. When a car turns on the Cypress Street off of Cobbs Creek Parkway, it is at an elevated level. It's uphill. So the driver naturally steps on the accelerator to get up the hill. As you approach the Whitby Avenue intersection, there is a stop sign, but the cars are going so fast that they generally blow right through the intersection. In the summer, the corner is also dark and the stop sign is partially covered by trees. But that doesn't seem to matter because accidents happen at this intersection all year round. Once you cross Whitby Avenue, Cypress Street then levels out. My request is to meet with someone in the borough to discuss a solution. To me, the obvious solution would be to install a speed bump to slow the cars down before they get to that intersection. Maybe even blinking lights around the stop sign might also help cut down the accidents. I live 1 block away from the school on Cypress Street, and the students cross this intersection on their way home on a regular basis. So far, no student has been hit. I hope that it never happens. And one other thing I wanted to mention, I was fortunate enough to get a picture of the car right before it crashed into my fence. And on my corner, there's a gas connection. You'll see on the corner of Cypress and Whips, there's a pole that's sticking up from the gas connection on that corner, because I smell gas sometime out there. I call the gas company. If he would have hit that pole, he would have blew up the block. Go on to Cypress Street and Whippy and look at that pole. And my fence, the pole, the car was between the two of them. Just that much, he would have blew up that whole block. So I think we should probably look at this and try to do something about the speeding at that intersection.
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
Mayor, would you like to, please?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention. I'm aware of that intersection very well. You described it very well.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Could you please pass the picture so we, if you don't mind, so we can see that? Yes.
You described the situation very, very well, and I'm familiar with that. And you're right, maybe because I'm a resident, you could miss the stop sign. I will have Chief Gianmarco reach out to you and discuss things that we could do to improve that intersection.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Miss Romia Harris.
Good evening, councils, elected officials, and residents. My name is Romea Harris, and I opened up a business in the 700 block of Church Lane in Yeadon 7 years ago. I embarked upon this opportunity after careful study, and as I discovered that Yeadon is a great residential neighborhood that is known for its safety and as a sound historical community where anyone who is willing to work hard and play by the rules can make a positive contribution. Hence, I opened up this establishment with the hopes of not only realizing the great business opportunity of Yeadon, but to also invest in this community and offer a variety of services I believe is not only commonly offered in Yeadon, ranging from flowers to grab-and-go foods, toiletries, batteries, and lottery tickets. Additionally, we provide on-site professional support services of personalized in-home care for adults and seniors in their homes. However, to my dismay, I want to tell my story in that I believe I'm being targeted and harassed by competing business interests in the block by virtue of some systematic hostile actions that I believe are related and I believe is intended to paint me as a bad neighbor. For example, these harassing actions include individuals dumping old mattress directly in front of my business, of which I have pictures to prove, and then making it seem that I was littering. I had no idea where this large, disgusting king-size mattress came from, but made it look like I had actually dumped it there right in front of my establishment. Other systematic targeted harassing incidents include dumping old clothes behind my property, which I have pictures to prove. Fast forward to the most recent events. On February 14, an individual from a neighboring salon, Harlem, intentionally created disruption, acting aggressively over stale chips that was dated April 7, 2026, to demand a refund, and intimidated my minor child. I have picture and recording to prove. Unfounded complaints to the police during a private family gathering, who subsequently came to my property to investigate and found out no issue. I was also accused of operating loud parties until 4 a.m. in the mornings. I want to be emphatically clear that my business has never operated as a 4 a.m. party venue. We operate within reasonable hours and maintain full respect for the neighborhood. Despite these attempts to disrupt my business, I remain committed to creating a positive community-focused environment. As a compliant, tax-paying business owner, I am addressing the ongoing targeted pressure aimed at monopolizing the local area, where I feel I am facing harassment, not unlike the civil rights era, when our people were subject to inhumane treatment as a tool of intimidation and control. I never thought I would be subject to such treatment in historic Yeadon. But as a young lady who is likewise trying to earn a living as a single mom to support my family, I refuse to be intimidated by those who are who use anti-competitive tactics, which I believe also include inconsistent enforcement of zoning ordinance against my business, but in support of specifically the allowance of 3 event spaces within this block, where I was informed that only one should actually lawfully exist. But 3 were approved, all in the same small block. What's more, I was forced to go to district court following one of these baseless charges, and I was exonerated by District Judge Keith Williams, who had the judicial fairness to dismiss all of my charges leveled against me after seeing it for what it was. However, I don't believe I should be systematically attacked by my business neighbors in Yeadon, as I'm being subject to. To add to my sense of unfair playing field, I am also witnessing a glaring lack of accountability regarding other local venues within the same block. While concerns regarding safety were raised at the February 12, 2026 hearing last week regarding within the 700 block, it is interesting to note that if safety is really the concern, it was rather the other business venue in the block, the one that is complaining about my particular business that actually resulted in a tragic death a few years ago, and to be exact, November 2022, following a public violence at the establishment, but which did not trigger a similar scrutiny that I am experiencing for myself. Moreover, there is illegal parking that interferes with the traffic in the 700 block virtually all the times for the events, which conspires to place drivers and pedestrians in imminent danger. But this is not all. I also would respectfully invite the elected officials to inspect the back alleyways in the rear of these establishments. If you do, I can tell you that you'll find it in a really deplorable state, filled with uncollected trash and ever-winding potholes, posing a severe safety hazard not only to my business, but also to all other businesses and emergency vehicles that may struggle to get in during an emergency. I am here to urge you to work with the Yeadon Borough Code enforcement to hold all our property owners, including those complaining about my business, to the same standard of ordinance compliance that they have systematically targeted me, but for which I am not the most egregious offender. I believe these systematic collective actions against my establishment suggest a pattern of disparate treatment, which it appears prioritizing the stifling of my business over fostering equitable growth for all Yeadon entrepreneurs, to which we should all have a constitutional right to be held at the same standard rather than one entity being unfairly targeted or singled out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you for bringing that to our attention. And I know we spoke briefly last week, and the first thing that I suggested that you do was to have that meeting with our director of our code department, Mr. Collins. Were you able to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is we can talk more after the meeting. And then also another question that I have is, have you ever sat down with the other business owners in the block where you are to really just have a conversation with them?
I have conversation with a few.
Okay. And has that helped with anything?
No.
Okay. So my last suggestion would be, I know one of the things that we're working on is to develop the business district, and obviously you're in one. So we could sit down and I could reintroduce you to the YEDC as well as the Planning Commission to talk about things that we can do that is going to help promote the businesses there as well as in other areas of the borough. But we also need to address the concerns that are happening with which you're bringing up. So, we'll continue that conversation and working with our code department to make sure things are being done properly and nobody's being unjustly targeted. So, but thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Ms. Anna D'Alessandra Tonio.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have several different items that I want to address. The one is the meeting agendas. If we could be more specific with some of the items on the agenda, that would help for residents to know what's going to be discussed at the meeting. For example, tonight, one of the things is one of the ordinances. I think it's going to be dealing with snow removal. And the deadline with regards to that. If I hadn't attended the last meeting, I wouldn't be aware that that's what that is going to address. So if we could somehow make the meeting agenda, those items a little more apparent to the residents, then we could make sure that we make comments with regards to that. That would be greatly appreciated if we could do that. With regards to the meeting minutes, we have various counselors that are sometimes in attendance and sometimes they're not. Some of those absences are excused and some are not. It's important for us to know which ones are excused and which ones are not, so I'm wondering if we could possibly modify the meeting minutes so that we show that. And then the other thing with regards to the meeting minutes, we have various people attending from the solicitor's office. Wondering if we could possibly list who was attending from the firm, just because sometimes they give different certain advice, and we'd like to know who actually said that with regards to that. Mm-hmm. Tonight, I think one of the items that's going to be addressed with regards to the ordinances is currently when there is snow, there's a 24-hour deadline with regards to residents to remove that snow. Wanted to bring up some concerns with regards to that. It really depends with regards to when that snow stops falling. If it falls, especially during the winter months, it gets darker earlier. So if the snow stops falling sometimes when it's dark, even if you're changing it to 12 hours, it's going to still be dark by the time that 12 hours is done. So we would be requiring residents to actually be out in the dark shoveling. That's not necessarily safe. You're also dealing with lower temperatures. And they say that it's very dangerous for people to be shoveling snow, let alone if you're making them do that when it's colder temperatures. So I'm requesting that we leave it at the 24 hours. And I did not have a chance to look at all the different surrounding boroughs, but Swarthmore, Upper Darby, Lansdowne, Media, Clifton Heights, they all have it listed at 24 hours. And I did not have extensive research with regards to this, but I did notice that Clifton Heights, even with this last snowstorm, what they did, their thing was 24 hours. They suspended the 24 hours for residential people because of the amount of the snow. So they were actually looking at not reducing the amount of time, but they said this snowstorm was so bad that they took away this, they suspended the 24 hours. Then you also have some people work 12-hour shifts. So you could just be getting to work when the snow is ending. And by the time that you get home, your deadline's already passed. So that's some of the things with regards to concerns that we should take into account with regards to that. One of the other items that is on the agenda for tonight is approving the severance package for Rafi Cave. I had previously spoken with regards to that. Rafi Cave resigned at the meeting on September 18th. He walked out in the middle of the meeting. Technically, if you're resigning, you really shouldn't be, in my opinion, getting severance. He also only worked for 14 and a half months, yet we're giving him a $125,000 overall package. That's 52 weeks of severance. And he resigned, he was asked to stay. The prior borough manager that was terminated only got 5 weeks. So we really need to take a look with regards to what we're doing there with regards to that. I had went in more detail with regards to that last time, so I'm not going to belabor the point with regards to that. One of the other things that we had spoken about, or the solicitor had spoken about at the last meeting, was that they were looking at doing possibly something with counselors that are unexcused absences, and because they haven't been here since the September meeting trying to get the money back, the stipend, and they also said that it was difficult with regards to the DA. If we actually do go down that route, you might want to also take a look with regards to probably, because they said it's difficult to do, so not attending the meetings, but also the reason with regards to why that person is no longer attending these meetings, and why the vote was taken with regards to residency, basically, and why the vote was taken with regards to having somebody different in the president's seat. And then the last thing that I wanted to ask about is, and I don't know if the finance director would be able to give us an answer, but the 2025, I know we're looking at the 2023 and the 2024 audits. Did we ever get an engagement letter signed for 2025, and when do we think that we would have that audit done?
So we haven't gotten an engagement letter yet for 25 because they're working on the 2023 and 2024 audits. For full disclosure, I should just say it at this point. Unfortunately, Rainier and Company merged with another auditing firm. It was brought to my attention at the end of last year by a partner at the new firm that the auditor who was assigned to Yeadon actually was auditing without their approval, and it didn't go to their compliance department. So that's why we're kind of in this quagmire situation right now, and the new firm is trying to remedy the situation for those past audits, because technically it didn't go through their quality review. They can't sign off on it. They don't exist anymore. We weren't the only client that it happened to. It happened to a few different clients. So we're working through that to get to that point. The goal and objective is to have us current in 2026.
Okay. Thank you so much for providing that information. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I did take notice of the items that you mentioned about the agenda and in the meeting minutes.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be discussing later the ordinance. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And lastly, Ms. Denise Jones.
Good evening, elected officials and residents. I just wanted to piggyback on what Anna just said regarding the snow removal. I'm concerned about the seniors or anybody that has to shovel with that last storm that we had. I'm concerned that the time being reduced from 24 to 12 hours is a bit much. Because on a personal note, I ended up in the ER behind that storm. And to ask the residents to do that, I think, is a bit ridiculous. I don't understand the purpose of changing it from 24 to 12 hours. Like, why are we doing that? Can we possibly partner with maybe the high school, and maybe there could be a list of seniors that need assistance with shoveling? Because there's nobody walking around my neighborhood asking to shovel. And I think a lot of people could use the help, and they would really appreciate it, and we wouldn't mind paying.
So
That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And one of the things, and I'll let Madam Vice President will talk probably a little more when we get to that, but what is on the agenda, first of all, is to advertise it, not to say that, but that just allows for what's happening now for public comment. And we are going to seriously take a look at it and do some surveys just to make sure that we have a full understanding of the residents and the residents' needs that we have, so the proper decision can be made. So I appreciate you coming in, and also the other residents that have commented, and we want to hear more. So a final decision is not being made tonight,
Okay.
so, yeah.
I thought it was going to be made tonight.
No, that is
All
not,
right.
no. And what is listed is to advertise it, and what the advertising does is to allow for public comment.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So at this time, I'm going to ask that we go to the minutes and a motion to consideration to approve the January 5th, 2026 reorganization meeting.
So moved.
Second? You have a second?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Any questions? All right. All right. Take the vote, please.
President Trueheart,
Yes.
Vice President Rollcloud,
Yes.
Councilor Beatty,
Yes.
Councilor Peaks,
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. May I have a motion for the consideration to approve January 15th, 2026 legislative meeting minutes?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
Are there any questions?
Question. I
Yes.
think it was an
Councilor
error with one of the, think of how I voted on one of those. I think I abstained and they have me down for, what the heck is it? Of no objections. I think. It's concerning the finances. I believe I abstained from that vote. Motion to approve the accounts payable list for December 2026. I believe I abstained from
You
that.
did.
Okay.
And it's
So may I have the motion to approve with that correction?
so moved.
Seconded?
All right. Are there any other questions or comments? All right. May I have the vote, please?
President Trueheart,
Yes.
Vice President Rollcloud,
Yes.
Councilor Beatty,
Yes.
Councilor Peaks,
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I would just like to make a shift in the agenda item, just to move one thing up. And I think it's instead of going into the mayor's report, if we could move up the swearing in of Lamont Collins as our code enforcement officer.
I have a question
Yes.
in reference to that. So, in my many years of being on council, we never sworn in a director or a codes enforcement officer. So where's this coming from? Why are we swearing the director in?
So because some of the rules have changed, and particularly when things have to go to the district judge, some of the pushback has been that those officers were not properly sworn in to do that. So that's why we're doing that too, as to make sure that we don't have those issues moving forward.
So when you say properly sworn in
And has to be sworn in, documented, and recorded.
No,
Yeah,
that's
right.
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, who's telling you that, you're saying the judge is saying
the
that
district
these
office,
officers have to be
yes.
sworn in? And that's in the borough code? Because I don't recall seeing that.
I had the same question that you had, but it did come from the judges' chambers that this needed to happen. I don't know if something changed with the PA uniform code or not with that, Mr. Collins. You sure you're the licensed BCO?
So, with regards to that, previously, one thing I did learn is in order for us to get our ID, our court ID number, we have to be sworn in, and we have to get through that process so we can take people to court in order to hold higher fine locations through the PA state. Cool.
I've never heard of that, and former enforcement officers as well as code directors have taken people to court, and we've never done that, so I don't understand.
That's what I know was passed down, and I got that from trainings I went to with Uniform Construction.
Would the solicitor know? Would you know?
What specifically
Do you
are you
know?
asking me? What specifically are you asking?
About swearing the code enforcement officer in. We've never done that, and we're getting conflicted information. I mean, what's new? Is there a law? What's new that this council feel as though that the codes director needs to be sworn in?
Well, I think from
When
what
we
they're
never-
saying
we
is that
never
he's
did
having
this before.
difficulties in court being able to bring the individuals in to.
So you guys didn't follow up on that? I mean, to make sure, because to me, it seems iffy. You know, it's not, it seemed iffy. So do you know?
This was the building code official, which is the code director here, is an appointed position. And with that appointment, and to take the people to court, you have to have them sworn in. I haven't been able to take anybody to court since I've been here, because we have to get that sworn in process done in order to get the releasing of a court ID number.
So,
That's the standard now. I don't know how it was before, but that's the standard that I know of now. since
We've
I've been
done it in the
here.
past,
I
but
don't
that
know if
doesn't make
this
sense.
helps, Madam Solicitor, or not. I know that the borough code has been updated on a number of different levels back in August of 2025. I do know that the third-class city code and the township code requires that only the building code official, not the code officers, but only the building code official is sworn in. It is new to me for the borough code, but I will say that we have had over the last year and a half meetings with the courts because we've had these issues where people are going to court and the judge pretty much won't hear or throws out those things because he is saying, and I say Judge Williams is saying, that our building code official, which is our code director, hasn't been properly sworn in. So this request came directly from Judges Williams' chambers. I can tell you that I did have a conversation with the president judges at the county, and apparently it is happening around the county. That's all the information that I have with it.
And to speak.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, and to speak to your question about whether it was followed up on, Kyle Miller from our office has been in contact with Mr. Collins frequently regarding the code officials.
Who did you say? I'm sorry.
Mr. Miller.
No, from your office. Who did
From
you
our
say?
office has been in contact with Mr. Collins regarding many of these issues.
No, you said somebody. Who did you say?
Kyle Miller.
Miller.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's an attorney for the...
Yes.
Okay.
He's one of the other attorneys. He sits for the caucus meetings.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'll certainly follow up with additional information if you would like.
Thank you. 'Cause we need to be certain. I mean, we acting iffy here.
Well, it's not about acting iffy, and, we go back to, there have been some updates to the codes and the laws, and the fact that he is an appointed official, and just when I first came on council, I was appointed, when we were voted
That's a
in,
difference.
we were sworn in, and when you were appointed to council, you're sworn in.
It's a difference.
And Mr. Collins is our BCO. So the pushback that he's getting, and it's not just happening here, it's as Mr. Nichols already pointed out, it's happening across the county. And, it's something new, and I have to say, it's something new that hasn't happened before, but being that it's new doesn't make it wrong. So, and swearing him in is not anything illegal. It doesn't put anything, that we're doing underhanded. We're following the rules that's being set before us, and swearing him in is not a bad thing.
Point of order. I just want to say, you said we're following the rules, but there's no rules written. There's no rules at hand.
I'm speaking of the rules that were given to us from the judge.
From Keith Williams.
Yes, that's what I'm speaking of,
All right.
yes. Yes.
Let me just say this, it certainly doesn't hurt to add a higher standard to what we're doing. It certainly does not hurt to invoke a higher standard and to find that objectionable. I don't understand that. We just explained that we were mandated or requested to do this. There has been
No,
changes.
you were not mandated.
We
We're
were.
not mandated.
Judge Williams said he will not hear anything from Mr. Collins until we did this. He said that.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Madam Vice President.
question. In addition to Judge Williams letting us know that he would not hear anything from Mr. Collins until he is sworn in, it was verified by Judge Williams' superior as well.
That's happened, okay.
The president
Yes,
judge, right? So it was confirmed with her as well from the court itself. So there's nothing nefarious. Rules change all the time. It's not costing us any money to swear him in. If this is what the court wants, we're going to give it to him so he's able to perform his duties at 100%.
So question, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Also, so is it just the director that we're swearing in, or does all of the officers have to be sworn in as well?
So my understanding it's the BCO,
It's
which
the
is the
BCO.
director.
Okay.
Yes.
Because they are responsible for drafting up codes and, you know, the ordinances and all that
Right,
stuff.
but it's a matter of who's going.
Who's in
forward.
charge,
You're right.
okay.
And it would seem to make sense, because from what I'm hearing, one of the issues is that he takes people to court, and police officers do, and officers of that, with that responsibility, it would seem that would make sense at this sworn.
Well, I just needed clarity because our officers in the past and directors in the past did the same thing and did not need this. So I just wanted clarity. Thank you.
It seems like they
Thank
raised
you.
that standard to meet that burden all the way around.
Okay. All right. So let us move forward, and I'll ask if we could have Mr. Collins come forward, and Mr. Mayor, if you would swear him in.
Please hold your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Lamont Collins.
I, Lamont Collins.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To uphold and defend.
To uphold and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United
The
States.
Constitution of this Commonwealth.
The Constitution of the Commonwealth.
The laws and ordinances of Yeadon
The
Borough.
laws and ordinances of Yeadon Borough.
And that I will uphold my office
That I will uphold my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Mayor, would you like to give your report?
My report stands as submitted last week's caucus meeting. Do want to underscore a few things. Our next public safety meeting, which will be held online, and we do discuss these issues of traffic and danger spots and areas of concern, will be held via Zoom on Saturday, February 28th at 9:30 a.m. Just access the website and it'll direct you. If you'd like to attend, all residents are welcome to attend and participate. And that's all the other things. Well, the Mayor's Forum also is coming up on Thursday, March 5th, 2026, and at 7 o'clock. And we'll be highlighting the accreditation status of the police department, which is a major milestone, and only a small percentage of police departments in the state are accredited. That's all I want to report. Rest could be read. Thank you, Madam President.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And under the president's report, what I would like to add there is, in addition to last week we discussed, mentioned, the committees that we have, but I also want to report that we will be relaunching our Public Relations Committee, and Councilor Jones Waters has graciously agreed to work with me to do that committee. So she will be doing that, and we will be relaunching that, and you'll be hearing more about that in the days to come. And then we will be continuing our recreation. We have Councilor Beatty, Public Safety. We have Councilor Peets, who'll be working alongside of the mayor. We have our Madam Vice President, who will be working with Code as well as Public Works. And then Councilor Francis will be continuing with our Planning Commission along with myself. And then I will be working alongside of our borough management with our finance and personnel. So that ends my report. So, Mr. Nichols, the manager's report.
Madam President and Council, for your consideration to adopt ordinance number 2026-001, an amendment to Article 4, Roman numeral, of the Borough Code entitled Historical Commission. I know it was properly advertised. We did not receive any public comments back from the advertisement. So what was advertised stands as submitted if council has no other, recommendations.
So, well, let's make the motion first and then to adopt, and then we'll have questions. Okay. So may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All right. Are there any questions?
Can you please read the ordinance to the community?
So do we need
Amended.
to read the full ordinance, because we've.
It's usually just the amendment.
The amendment portion, yeah.
Another copy in front of me. Madam Solicitor, do you have a copy?
Okay.
Wasn't it sent in the email?
I'm sorry.
The amendments were sent in the email?
Yes.
But that's
Well,
that's not my question.
I'm sorry. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so she's looking for the amendment to read
Right,
that.
thank
And then, Madam Vice Chair, I didn't hear what you were saying.
The amendments were sent in the email, attached to our email
Yes,
packages.
yes.
Right. Yes.
So my
That's what I'm saying.
question is for it to be read to the community. Thank you.
So we can pull it, but she's pulling it up. Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
You have it? Because I have it up.
Okay, yes, please,
Okay.
thank you.
So just read the blue.
Yes, the amendment portion, yes.
All right. Amendments approved by the Yeadon Borough Council on blank. Recommended amendment. The Yeadon Borough Historical Commission is hereby established to be comprised of 7 members, all of whom shall be residents of Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Members shall be appointed by Borough Council and shall serve without compensation. 1 member shall be a registered architect or an experienced or trained individual with an architectural background or urban planning experience. 1 member shall be a licensed real estate broker or a person having both qualitative and quantitative knowledge of Yeadon real estate. 1 member shall be the Yeadon Borough Code Director. At least 4 of the members shall be persons with knowledge or an interest in the preservation of the Yeadon Borough's historic resources. Nullification is recommended if 2 and 3 above are amended. Each member shall serve for a term of 4 years and may be reappointed for successive terms. Reappointment shall be subject to recommendation by the sitting members of the Yeadon Borough Historical Commission and approval by Yeadon Borough Council. The position of any member of the commission who ceases to be actively engaged shall be automatically considered vacant. In the event of a vacancy, the Yeadon Borough Historical Commission shall advise Yeadon Borough Council of the vacancy and may recommend qualified candidates to be appointed to fill the vacancy. An appointment to fill a vacancy shall be only for the unexpired portion of the term of the vacant position. Members may be removed for cause by majority vote of Yeadon Borough Council after notice and an opportunity to be heard. The commission shall meet at a minimum quarterly. A majority of the commission shall constitute a quorum, and any action taken at any meeting shall require the affirmative vote of a majority of the commission. The commission will provide an annual report to Borough Council. Okay. So, excuse me for one moment.
Yes.
To read just the blue would not quite make sense unless you give the full context. And it is quite a bit. But I'll just read it anyway. Okay. The commission shall annually select from its membership a chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, and such other officers as it may deem necessary. The chairperson shall be responsible for directing, proposing, and guiding the commission to reach its stated purposes and objectives. The vice chairperson shall assume the duties of the chairperson in the absence of the chairperson, or in the case of a vacancy in the office of chairperson. The secretary shall record, communicate, and initiate research on all matters related to the commission. Except as amended herein, the Yeadon Borough Historical Commission shall continue to perform the duties and functions set forth in ordinance number 2015-1362, including the identification, protection, and promotion of historic and cultural resources within the borough and its advisory and advocacy roles to Borough Council. All current members of the Yeadon Borough Historical Commission shall continue at will to serve until their successors are duly appointed in accordance with Ordinance 2015-1362. Members presently serving shall be deemed eligible for reappointment consistent with the procedures established herein. That's it.
That's it. That's the total amendment.
So
Yes.
quick question.
Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes, so are these offices up now?
I do not believe so. Yeah. I
So
don't
we
believe so.
have an active.
Yeah, we do. We do.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Barring any more comments or questions, please take the vote.
President Shuhart?
Yes.
Vice President Roquel?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries. Right, Madam President and Council, for your consideration to authorize Borough Management to order electronic devices for Councilor Ron Francis and Councilor Talia Jones Waters.
Now I have
May I have a motion?
So moved?
May I have a second?
second.
Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question. So it's kind of like the first question that I had. Since when, why are we voting to do this? Because as I always known it to be, as a council member, you are supposed to get those devices to, you know, further, what?
Excuse me, just continue your question, your comment.
So, again, so this is something that a council member is supposed to get anyway. to help communicate with the community, with the constituents. So I just didn't understand why it's getting voted on.
So, in the past, there have been some issues, and this is not just being, let me just start by saying, this is not just being done for council members, it's being done for council and all borough staff. Because there have been some issues in the past with devices not being handled appropriately. So moving forward, so that we can be fiscally responsible, and I'm including myself, I needed to have a device because my job, which pays for my personal device, I can't do borough business on there. So I need a device. So I'm held to the same standard because now I have the borough, the same way I'm held to the standard for the work device. So moving forward, we wanted to institute this across the board, just to make sure that everybody understands across the board, yes, you have this device and but it is to be used for your role, whether you're a council person or your role as a staff person. End of conversation. And if we find that that's not being handled the proper way, we can take it back. So that's the reason for that. And in order to do that is why the forms, and I'm signing one too because I have a device, that form needs to be signed when it's approved to get it. And it's signed stating that you understand that this is to be used only for your role as council person or only as your role as borough staff. And if it is not, you could lose it. So that is the reason why.
Okay, so I'm going to agree to disagree with what you just said. As far as an employee, yes, because I am an employee as well and I have state equipment myself. But as a council member, there are certain things that you are allotted to have to perform your job better. So as it relates to dealing with the community. So I just wanted for the record that I'm saying this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are there any other questions? Yes, Councilor Beatty.
So why do we have Councilor Francis and Councilor Jones Waters together? Why are they not separate?
Well, they're both are requesting devices.
But why is the consideration together? Why can't we vote for one at a time?
I suppose that we could do that if it's necessary.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the whole process. If everybody has electronic devices, you're a council member and you have if you have a iPad or whatever, you have a phone to talk with your constituents, this is something that a council person is supposed to have anyway.
I agree.
So why are we voting on it and then now a council member is asking, why is it separate?
Yes, I am.
So why is it separate and
I'm asking because
well, to me, that sounds personalized.
Well,
like
I don't care how it sounds.
Okay,
That's my question.
excuse me, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're going to do this
I asked the question for a
professionally.
Either it is or it isn't. Like, we shouldn't be voting on it anyway.
So-
Because it's something that you should have anyway.
Moving forward, everyone who has a device that's being issued by the borough this is the process, and we will all sign the form.
I would like to vote separately. So that's what we were discussing before the other council person chimed in, which is her right. But I also have a right to ask any question I want to ask, and I will. So I would like to vote separately, if that can be considered.
Separating it, but we still need to take the vote. So I will make a motion to correct to correct the motion where we could do each one separately. But we do need to take the vote. If there's something different that needs to be done.
The motion needs to be
Withdrawn.
withdrawn. Motion and second. You're not voting on it. Motion and second.
So can we correct the motion right now to separate the two and move forward into this agenda? Okay, all right.
I have a question with that. You're separating the two. I'm the same council member as that council member. So let's say that this council standing before us votes that he can have electronic devices, and the same council votes that I can't. But this is something that I'm supposed to have anyway. Okay, so where's the sense in all of that?
So that's a legitimate question, so I think we need to answer.
So I'm going to
that
defer
question.
to the solicitor.
That's legitimate. So it needs to be answered.
So,
Come on now.
first of all, excuse me. At this point, with the decision that needs to be made for both of them that have requested it. So my question is, and to the solicitor, my first question is it necessary to separate them?
A necessity. I don't know that it's a necessity, but if you all choose to vote and separate the votes, it's your decision to do that.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I believe it is necessary to separate because at the end of the day, we're talking about equipment that is being paid for by tax dollars, right? And we must hold people accountable for those tax dollars. Because my question would simply be, are there any outstanding balances owed to the borough from either of these councilors?
And that would be no.
Question.
And that would be
Madam
a
Chair.
no.
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
So to,
Ain't no balances, anything. Stop
Excuse me.
creating stuff.
Councilor Jones
Yes,
Waters,
I'm
let me
sorry.
respond.
I'm sorry.
So I want to refer to, excuse me, we don't need comments from the audience, thank you.
It's the last up there.
So-
It's funny to me.
Mr. Nichols, do we have any record of balances owed? And is that something that we need to discuss at this point? Or, you know, I don't want to make this a long drawn out issue, okay? We need to decide if we're going to move forward or not. I mean, that is really the bottom line.
Can we discuss?
I make a motion to table.
Motion table, second.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I think that we probably, if we're going to separate them, handle those questions when each person comes up.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, but you're not a part of this. We're talking about council members.
Okay, one of the things that we don't.
So you're saying again that I can't speak? Are you saying again, I'm bringing that again, that the mayor cannot speak? Is that what you're saying to me?
Say that, I'm talking about voting on this issue, Mr. Mayor, but you're.
I'm part of the deliberations. I'm part of the legal, I'm not?
You're the mayor and we're the council.
So I can't speak.
I didn't say about Mr.
Madam Chair,
Mayor.
excuse me. One of the things that we're not doing is be disrespectful. So regardless of whether the mayor is a part of the vote, he does have a right to comment. So, Madam Vice President, go ahead.
No, I just want a point of order, and you did that.
Thank you. So we just need to be clear, and the issue is, we still have to resolve this to be able to move forward. So to resolve it the appropriate way. Now, I don't have a problem for us to strike this motion and then redo it to separate it so that we can move forward. But the bottom line is, the reason why this program was instituted, and it is for council people, and I understand exactly the point that you're making, but we all have to be fiscally responsible because it is the tax dollars paying for it. And I'm not accusing you or anybody else. I'm just saying that's the standard that we're all being held to.
But I will say, by you making that statement, you are. By you making that statement, you are.
Making what statement?
By you making that statement, you're saying you're not making a statement, but you are making a statement. You're saying that everybody is held accountable. So if that's the case, then you shouldn't be trying to separate anybody from anybody else. We're all council members. So with you guys trying to, or whomever wants to separate certain people or certain things for their own personal gain, or to make a point, you know, I think it's irresponsible. I really do. It's not, it doesn't show unity.
It's not personal.
It doesn't show unity. And just by the way of hearing the comments from my colleagues, it seems to me that they're going to vote for one council member to have electronic devices to communicate with the community as they should, and another council member is not going to have that. And that's unacceptable.
Madam Chair,
Madam Vice Chair.
I don't have a cell phone from the borough. I communicate through my email, or people would leave messages at the borough for me. I'm more concerned about us being fiscally responsible.
And that is the only issue, and I don't feel that anybody is going to be singled out. That is not the intention that I certainly have with this. It is not singling anybody out. It's just saying that we're all going to be held to that same standard, which is the reason why this is being done. That is the point that I'm making.
When you separate votes, that's what you're doing.
Well, I asked, I didn't say.
That's what you're doing.
Do it.
And that's not unified.
So, Madam Chair, I'm sorry I didn't address you first. So the reason why I asked, because there was a question about the fiscal responsibility of one council person versus the other. So I don't know, because I didn't ask the borough finance director or the finance office. I know what I was told, that there has been a balance carrying. You're saying that's not the case. Okay, so whatever the case may be, it's still my right as a council person to vote what I feel like is the fiscal responsible thing to do. You can advocate for yourself. I'm not saying you're wrong to feel the way you feel. I just feel like there was a question about a balance that was carrying. So if you wanted to know why I asked, that's why.
Well, I don't know what you mean about balance.
There was a balance that you...
No balance.
Okay, so that's what...
Now, you're saying objects, but there was no balance.
No, I'm talking about money.
Yeah,
So
I know
at
what
the
you're
end of the
talking about.
day,
There's no
at the end of the day, if you're saying there is no balance, I'll still vote the way I feel I should vote, but that's why I asked for this to be separated, so we're clear. And it's not personal, it ain't personal, it's business.
So what's the vote on the floor?
So at this point, I'm sorry. Okay, so what this solicitor just brought to my attention, that someone brought up a motion to table?
Yes.
Okay. So at this point,
I was saying.
there was a second, okay, to table this motion, okay. All right, so shall we have the table?
Yes.
President Trueheart,
Yes.
Vice President Roquel,
Yes.
Councilor Beatty,
Yes.
Councilor Peets,
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Motion carries, and the motion has been tabled.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
along with tabling that motion, I would ask in the meantime that we make sure there are no outstanding balances owed by anyone requesting borough-issued equipment. So I would ask that, Mr. Nichols, you confirm with the accounting department that no balances are owed. And let us know, because we have to be fiscally responsible, just, making decisions not knowing if balances are owed. And if balances are owed, once an agreement is made to pay same, then we move forward.
This is
That's
petty.
being fiscally responsible. So
it's
at this
petty.
point, we owe that to the community.
Oh, please.
It's their tax dollars.
So at this point, so that we can move forward, let's make it clear, we clear up any issues, there are no questions, and then we move forward.
Yes.
And that's on everybody's part.
Yes.
So nobody needs to defend, just answer the questions and we move forward.
That's it.
All right, at this point, our solicitor's report.
Thank you, President Trueheart. So our office has been working with the borough to make some amendments to ordinances and draft some new ones. We will be working on the advertisements for those ordinances if that passes later on tonight to consider them. We have also been we've been working on some of the litigation matters, the pending litigation matters that are still outstanding with the borough. And then also drafting some policies such as the cell phone policy that we discussed earlier tonight. We also have for consideration of council, the approval of the separation agreement for employee number 10184 with the Borough of Yeadon. And that concludes my report.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, are there any questions? Oh, no questions because it's personnel, I apologize. Mr. Nichols, would you please take the vote?
Yes, President Shuhart?
Yes.
Vice President Roquel?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Abstain.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters?
I'm sorry, but I do have a question. So is this pertaining to just the removal, or is this about the removal with the money?
Again, it's
the separation agreement, the full separation agreement.
The full separation?
The whole thing, all of it.
No.
Motion carries. 3 yeses, 1 no, 1 abstention.
And do we have, Mr. Nichols, do we have a tax collector's report?
That's not fiscal
We do
responsibility.
not. So, and just for the record, the month of February tax bills did go out the first week of February. So normally we are collecting, but there's nothing to report for the prior month of January.
Okay. All right. And I know that the engineer is not here. Did he submit a report?
He submitted a report, but there were no action items for this week.
Okay. All right. With that, do you finance?
Asking for consideration for the approval of the February 2026 AP list.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? Please take a vote.
President Trueheart?
Yes.
Vice President Roquel?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters?
No.
Motion carries. Asking for consideration for the approval of the February 2026 accounts payables additions list.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Are there any questions? All right, please take the vote.
President Trueheart?
Yes.
Vice President Roquel?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters?
No.
Motion carries. Asking for consideration for the approval of the January 2026 cash balance report.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
A second.
Seconded.
Are there any questions? All right, please take the vote.
President Trueheart?
Yes.
Vice President Roquel?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones Waters?
No.
Motion carries. In consideration to add Antoinette Trueheart and Crystal Sapp as signers on all borough bank accounts effective immediately. For the record, Madam President, I was not in attendance at the one meeting where this came up, but I did get confirmation from our banking institutions. There is no limit to the amount of individuals you can have on an account. That is an organizational decision. So just so you all know, this will have 4 members on the account, from the borough to elected and to borough officials, which has been a practice. And there have also been the accounts where we've had upwards of 6 to 7 individuals on in the past, prior to my time, I want to say. But that was the case, but just for the record.
And just to add to it, this came up in our training to make sure, and the issue is to make sure that the signers are not the same people who are issuing the checks, so that there is an accountability in their checks and balances. So to be clear, that is the case here. The person who writes the checks is not a signer. So there are checks and balances there. We have the additional signers available in the event that someone is sick or maybe away, and you need to get checks signed. So at that point, may I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Seconded.
And are there any questions? All right, please take the vote.
President Trueheart?
Am I allowed to vote since my name is?
You
Yes,
are.
you do get a vote.
Yes.
Vice President Roquel?
Yes.
Counselor Beatty?
Yes.
Counselor Peets?
Yes.
Counselor Jones Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
And that ends the finance section of the report, Madam
Thank
President.
you. All right, ordinances and zoning, Mr. Collins.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My report stands as given in caucus. We would like to ask for consideration to advertise ordinance number 2026-004, industrial and commercial property use and occupancy.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Are there any questions? Counselor Jones Waters.
Could you just explain to the community what that ordinance is?
Yes, so with that ordinance, that now gives us the ability to inspect all commercial or industrial buildings. They will have to pay an annual fee, and it will be every year they will be required to get that use and occupancy inspection.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other questions? All right, hearing none, would you take the vote, please?
President Trueheart?
Yes.
Vice President Roquel?
Yes.
Counselor Beatty?
Yes.
Counselor Peets?
Yes.
Counselor Jones Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We will also like to ask for consideration to advertise for ordinance number 2026-005, amending 220-16 exterior property areas.
May I have a
That is,
motion?
No ordinance.
So moved.
A second? Are there any questions? And I'm going to say it first. Would you please explain what that is? Why you do that?
So that one is our snow ordinance that we've been talking about. We're advertising the changing of it from 24 hours to 12 hours after snowfall and giving more definition to separation of a commercial property and residential.
Okay. And are there any other questions or comments? And then I'm going to ask Madam Vice Chair if there's anything you want to share
Question.
that we're doing in reference to that.
Madam Chair.
So yes.
I do have a
Councilor
question.
Beatty.
So for the good of everyone here, can we please explain, because a resident did stand up and ask a question about why the change was necessary. Is there a very simplified explanation for the change? I think that would be the right thing to do.
And I have a question.
Do you want?
I have a question.
Okay.
So,
Well, let's respond to that and then we'll.
Okay, so I'll address that. So this ordinance is not to create a hardship for anyone, elderly, young, in between. This ordinance is simply to try to get the area back to normal as soon as possible after a snow event. As you all know, we just went through a major snowstorm. We don't get those types of storms all the time. However, we had this snowstorm with the 24 hours to remove the snow. Unfortunately, people literally waited way past 24 hours. The temperatures dropped, everything froze. But in the meantime, people still had to go to work, had to go to school, businesses opened back up, everything opened up, but there were hazardous conditions all over the borough. So reducing it from a 24-hour to a 12-hour is not to create a hardship, but just to get out there a little sooner to try to remedy these hazardous conditions. We all saw the streets, we all seen the sidewalks, and it was very dangerous. But the schools were open, our first responders still had to be on the job, everyone else who had to go out to work, so forth and so on, they had to travel throughout this community, get into the bus stops, get into the supermarkets. It was dangerous. So we sat down and said, maybe if we reduce it to get people out a little sooner. We understand if it stops at 8 o'clock at night, 12 hours is 8 a.m. We understand you may not get right out there at 8 a.m., but you will get out there closer to that time to try to remedy the situation. We all get notice when storms are coming. The weatherman tells us, or the weather woman tells us when it's coming. We have to prepare. The borough, you expect the streets to be done. Before the snow even came, we had to have public works on deck, preparing for it. Now, we're not talking about the results of it, but we're talking about what we did, right? We had to have them on deck preparing for it. During the snowstorm, they had to be out there doing whatever they needed to do. So we're trying to get everything, these streets cleared. After they plow those streets, if you look at the ordinance, you're not allowed to throw the snow back into the street once it's plowed. If you do, you're going to be cited for saying, right? So before they even get out there and you want to take care of your little 36 inches on your sidewalk, you're putting snow in the street, it's not touched, then they can go through and plow it away. But unfortunately, what happened, people didn't do anything. A lot of people didn't do anything, and they waited. Streets were being plowed. People started putting snow back in the street after the plow, and it was just a mess. So it's just a way to try to get back to normal sooner than later, because guess what? Life still goes on. We had our students going back to school. The school district didn't even bother touching their sidewalks, and that was way after 24 hours. We had a lot of residents that didn't touch their sidewalks way after 24 hours. So it's for the betterment of everyone, not just the few, but everyone. We have to make sure people who have to be out in these conditions are safe. We have to make sure that people can get to where they need to be. That's what it's about. It's not about a hardship, making it hard for the elderly or making it hard for people who go to work. I go to work too. But it's about having a decent quality of life and being safe. We're going to take some more feedback. I received some feedback. I received about 10 emails about it, right? And I also received some verbal feedback from people who said, yeah, I don't see a problem with that because I had to walk in the street because a lot of the sidewalks were still unsafe. So we're going to receive more feedback. So whatever feedback you have, whatever recommendations you have, we're also talking about trying to compile a list of contractors who would be able to, perform some snow removal services if you need snow removal services. Mm-hmm. So we're getting feedback. Okay, so I understand change. People get a little nervous and scared of change. I get it. But sometimes we got to look at the bright side. Is this going to help make things better, or is it going to help make things worse? If you need some help, then it's up to you to reach out and say, listen, I need a little help. That's it. We're not mind readers. If there's something going on, let us know. If the code come out and say, listen, you didn't do this, it's past the time, let us know what's happening. We're not here to make it worse for you. We're trying to make it better. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
All right.
This ordinance will be advertised. Take a look at the ordinance, right? And give us your feedback. And if you have some solutions or recommendations, bring those too. And that's it.
Yeah. So at this point, and I'm going to ask, this is not the time right now for the public comment. We want to hear from you, but we want to get the questions answered and have this discussion. But please bring your comments. That's why it's being advertised, so we can hear. And I can tell you, we are doing a survey to get an understanding of, seniors that are in our community, those who may be physically disabled, so we can take all of that into consideration, as well as coming up with a list of services that we can make available to those who need those services. So please understand that all of that is being looked at. So Councilor Jones Waters, you had a question.
Yeah, so this is the consideration for the ordinance. So I have gotten.
For advertising.
For the advertising. So I have gotten many phone calls. I even talked to some folks in this audience verbally. I totally disagree. And I disagree with what my colleague answer was. This will absolutely be a hardship. Hardship for the seniors, a hardship for the disabled, a hardship for, this has been an ordinance for a good while. My issue is, I just think it has to be enforced. The enforcement is the issue. After the 24 hours, the enforcement has to begin. If there's no enforcement, then there's your problem. I don't see, it's more of a hardship making less hours. Yes, like you said, like she mentioned, we haven't seen this storm, this type of storm in like over 20 years. Mm-hmm. So we're going to change the ordinance just because of this one storm, and we didn't see another one. You know, we saw the last one 20 years ago. So no, I don't think that's the answer to anything. We have to listen to the constituents. We should listen to the constituents concerning these types of hazard messages. You know, we just can't, just because, we got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 complaints about people not shoveling their payment. It was really bad out there. It was really bad. And if you're going to keep it at the 24 hours, which I believe that we should, just start the ordinance. Just start the enforcement. That's all.
Okay. We talked about this earlier. I just want to say, both of you are making good points, but I want to make it clear that the advertising of it does not mean that we are saying it's going to be changed across the board, because we're advertising it because we want to hear the public comment.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I wasn't at the caucus meeting, mm-hmm. but I was told by residents that attended, mm-hmm. Rampant and upset and scared, they're going to vote on this today. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying,
No, it is not being voted on today.
Yeah.
It is only being advertised so we can get the public comment. And we were in conversation earlier today about some of the things that Madam Vice Chair spoke about. And we're going to take a look at our community as a whole. Our residents, what are the kind of needs that may possibly be available? They be there, and then what are the resources that we can put in place to help them say, if you can't do this, because while the enforcement is happening, but if we're realizing that this resident, you need somebody, so here's a list of folks, and it is your responsibility to call. So go ahead.
Years ago, mm-hmm. we had a contractor mm-hmm. that did some of those things to help the seniors. Mm-hmm. We had that. So we can look into, like you said, we can look into maybe trying to have another contract with, I don't know if it could be a company itself or individuals who would like to go out there and help clean up some of the snow, even in the summertime. Cutting the grass.
Well, one of the things is, and I believe our resident brought it up, is, talking with the school district, and I do know that there are issues where we have students who are looking for this kind of thing that could be one of the things that we can do to put to have available. But the bottom line is, and I have to say, I don't necessarily agree that the borough should be paying a contractor to do this. It would be, we'll absolutely make a list and give that to the resident.
It could be something. Yeah. It could be an alternative for the high taxes that they're paying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
But, at this point, again, this is good conversation, and we'll continue to get the comments and
Madam
continue
Chair.
to make sure. So go ahead, Councilor Beatty.
And this is more of a comment, not a question.
Sure.
I think we should, on our website, create some type of job form or something to have seniors sign up for a need-based, just get a running list of seniors who are, or disabled, because disabled is another population, of people who really need some additional help to keep The grass is another issue, the snow removal, the grass, and so we can get an idea. That can, if you're gonna do like a survey, that should be something we should start with seniors and disabled people, like a need-based survey. And then have somebody track that and see if we can then get them some resources. That would be a nice thing to do for public relations.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. So Mr. Collins, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted to make a comment, just a few things that were said. One, enforcement did happen. We went out, we sent out multiple, actually it was two, it was one major snowstorm, but we also had a little snow that happened prior to that snowstorm. If we all do remember, and every time, that is our sticking point when that happens. When it snows, they know we come in, we get our cars clean, we get them warmed up, and we go out and we see who's doing what. We see what was clean, what was not clean. And we send out our violations, and at our time frame, we send out our citations. That is happening every snowstorm, so it's not a lack of enforcement at all. We are also, it's not just based off of one snowstorm. We had the same thing happen at both times it snowed. So it wasn't just, oh, we had this really bad snowstorm and nobody cleaned. The first time it snowed, when it wasn't as much, it was still not properly taken care of. So it is a constant issue, not just a one-time thing. Just to bring clarity to that back.
Okay, thank you. So we go back to, again, the advertising. That's what's happening. That's what this is for.
Right.
So I believe the motion was made and
So what
seconded.
exactly is the advertisement going to say?
So the advertisement is going to say that we're looking at making a change to reducing the hours, and it is being done that way to get the public comment, and then all of that will be taken into consideration. Everything that was brought up tonight by the residents who spoke, and the other comments that are coming in, and now they have more time, and it will be published. They can read the whole thing. They can come in, and then, comment on all of it if they need to. So that's what this is. That's it. Okay. So can I, at this point, no other questions or comments? Okay, please.
President Shuhart?
Yes.
Vice President Rosebaugh?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones-Willis?
Yes to the advertisement.
Motion carries.
Okay. We'll also ask for consideration to advertise ordinance number 2026-006, amending 235-6D, inspections for rental units.
So moved.
Seconded.
And are there any questions?
Yes. Can you please explain that ordinance?
Yes, so that is our rental registration ordinance. That is, we're changing, it's a section in there where it states for apartment complexes, we're only inspecting a certain amount, but we want to get rid of that 250 amount, and we're actually inspecting the whole complex. That was what that ordinance is about.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right, please take the vote.
President Shuhart?
Yes.
Vice President Rosebaugh?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones-Willis?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Right. In consideration to advertise ordinance 2026-007, industrial and commercial property Knox box.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Seconded.
All right, and I'll start with this. Can you please explain? Knox box.
The Knox box is something that will go on commercial properties, allowing, it's a box that goes on commercial properties that they put a key to their property inside of, and it's a universal key.
That's what it's called. Okay.
For the fire department and police department to have to gain access in case of emergency without having to break down the doors and damaging the property.
Okay, and this ordinance that is being proposed, is being advertised, is to require that to be on all the commercial properties.
Correct.
Okay.
So you tell me they gonna take time out because of fire? come out and try to get this code?
Well, I can tell you that should be, yes,
Really?
yes.
Wow.
Even if it's a pipe burst, I just experienced it somewhere else. And the fire department couldn't get in because a pipe burst, so they had to damage the property to get in.
I kind of can understand that, but the fire? Yeah, same.
All right.
President Trueheart?
Yes.
Vice President Rosebaum?
Yes.
Councilor Beatty?
Yes.
Councilor Peets?
Yes.
Councilor Jones Wood?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That ends my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Collins. All right, Public Works. Mr. Pizzullo.
Good evening, everyone. My report is as stands, and just to let you know if anybody has any questions.
I have a question.
Sure.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So, as a resident, in addition to a council person, I have a question for you. When residents have issue with the way things are done, do we feel they have a right to question their services as residents and taxpayers?
Sure,
Sure.
absolutely.
Okay, so long as we're clear on that. So the snow removal this past couple weeks, some of us on council have received a lot of, I know Road Cloud, you received quite a few, I did as well. First person I always go to is the Public Works Superintendent because first of all, I have a relationship with Mike. He works very closely with me and obviously he's over that department. I just want to be very clear as council people and as residents, we hold everyone here to a standard of how things should be done. And it is within our right as people who live here to question it. You know, I want it to be clear that we want to be safe. We want to make sure that the quality of life here is maintained. So I don't want anyone to feel that, residents are not satisfied. We pay a lot of money to stay here. We hold people accountable. You all hold us accountable all the time. And I just want to be very clear. We love you, Public Works. We thank you for the work that you do. But when things are not done to a standard, we are going to hold everyone accountable. Just like the council people, the mayor, we get chewed out all the time. None of the departments are going to be exempt, so long as we are clear on that. So that's
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Or anything else you need to report?
I'm good, thank you.
Mayor?
Yeah, can I? For the good of the public, I don't want to belabor the point, but on that note, there have been after-action meetings and we have reviewed our emergency preparedness, comparing also to other municipalities. There were complaints all the way around. I've heard from New York to Philly. But we have our own entity and we're responsible for what we do. So could you just briefly go over some of the things that we do differently as far as salting or brine or whatever to have a better result? Could you, for the good of the public?
Sure, absolutely. We are out there when the storm starts. We do pre-salt our major roads. We pre-salt our hills and any dangerous curves. We're out there till the storm ends. And if possible, we salt every street that is possible. This storm was a unique storm, as everybody has known and seen. We haven't seen something like this in 20 years. Mother Nature was not nice to us, and we did the best we could. But what we do every time is we prepare. And today we're prepared for this weekend's possible storm. Okay, we have 7 trucks ready to go as of right now. We don't know what's coming. We can't trust Mother Nature. We're ready for whatever's coming at us, and we're going to take it as it comes and whatever the forecast is going to be. So we are prepared.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Councilor Beatty, they got chewed out today, just so you know.
I know, thank you.
It still hurts.
We still love y'all.
All right, public safety, Chief.
Good evening, all. My report stands right as caucus. Any questions?
Another question. Today is I think tonight is the night for me. You know, Chief, I hate to say this, but that shopping center, you know, was like, for me, like how Road Cloud hates pretty much everything. I hate that shopping center. I don't even throw it up. That shopping center and the foolery that goes on, we need to step up the patrols, please. I go get my hair products and everything else from that beauty supply. You know, I'm always texting you when I'm coming out the beauty supply. It is all kinds of stuff going on at that African Caribbean supermarket, the laundromat. I saw somebody doing donuts in the parking lot. And I had to remind myself I wasn't the cops. And I just want to see more people patrolling. I mean, even if you guys just ride through there, it don't have to be once an hour, but a couple times, especially on the weekends and in the evenings. It's just, it elevates, you know. So please, for me, please have some more patrols. Thank you.
Okay.
And if I could add to that, not necessarily for, in addition to the police, we do need to make sure that our code department is going down there inspecting those businesses and checking out what's going on, because, you know, just the upkeep of the business, and we may need to look at some of our ordinances when it comes to businesses, the signage, the lighting, the sidewalks, you know, are they operating according to what they got their permit to operate for, you know, those kinds of things. And even the trash, you know, because I can speak to that. I don't go by there too often. I don't come that way. But when I have, you know, that's an issue, to make sure that, you know, they're being held to the proper standard to operating their business there. So I do think that needs probably needs to be a 1-2 punch with what goes on. Yeah, but also, if I could say, a nice thing for our police department. Personally, I experienced just 2 days ago where my husband was coming home from his dialysis treatment and stopped at to get a sandwich for lunch and literally collapsed. And you know, they called and the police officer showed up right away. And I want to say to you, and I spoke to you and the mayor directly, the officer was very kind, made sure his car was safe. He came to notify me. I was not available right away because I didn't hear the door. He went to the neighbor to make sure that they would get a hold of me. And then I went up there to be able, and he insisted, you know, that he would go to the hospital. And you know how men are, you know, he didn't want to go. But he made sure that he was good, that I was aware, that I was fine to be able to get his car. And then they also called back later to check to make sure how things were. So I appreciate the kindness of our officers.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And just two quick things for the good of the order. Congratulations to Team USA, the women. They beat Canada 2-1.
Oh, yeah.
And especially during Black History Month, a shout out to Layla, who is the first black female to get a gold medal in hockey. So that was great.
That's right.
And so if you don't see me next week, myself and Sergeant Johnson, the two oldest people in the department, signed up for the polar bear plunge tomorrow for Special Olympics. So none of the young guys want to do it, but I guess we're the crazy ones. So we'll be doing it for Special Olympics tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So
that's
we'll
nice.
be plunging, but thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, I have a question.
Yeah.
Have you been getting any calls in reference to the trash on, what is that? Is that Whippy? Like when you going out?
The tires?
Yeah.
They're on the Philadelphia
Even
side.
though I know they're not us, but I was just curious. Have you gotten calls?
No,
'Cause I had to
we
reach out to
haven't.
the
I know
city.
Mike's been working with it. I know
Okay.
the counselor's been reaching out to
Okay.
Philadelphia to try to get done.
I've been reaching out as well, and it's still
I think we should just get a truck and just drop them to Sherrod
Oh,
Parker's
Lord.
house. I'm sorry if that's going to try to be reported. Sorry, Burns, we're getting another complaint on that one, I'm sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And one of the things that I have, to even speak to that, because that's been an ongoing issue with that, is in addition to that.
And they not working that fast, because I've reached out to
But I've asked
the mayor's
to meet
office
with,
and
I've
the
asked to
council
meet with a
person.
council person, but in
Yeah.
addition to that council person, connecting with our surrounding municipalities. So that meeting has been, is being put to place that we can come together and talk about how we can work together, and particularly where our communities are bordering.
Because it's like a dumping ground.
And this morning, to address that, because that can't continue, because that's a gateway for our community, and it's very unsightly. So that is being addressed. Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right, do we have someone from our fire department here tonight? Okay, and we will make sure, Mr. Nichols, that we address that moving forward again.
Yes, I did speak with both they and the fire marshal, and they said starting March that they will be attending our meetings.
Thank you, thank you. All right, recreation. Mr. Hunter.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
The recreation report stands as submitted last week. One quick thing, we do have the rain barrel workshop coming up. So please sign up. It's being held on May the 19th here at Borough Hall. The first 25 registered participants will receive a free rain barrel.
All right.
And if we have any extras, so make sure you get this in early. Flyers outside, and I have some right here. Also, too, now that the snow's been removed, these are dog and poo bags. If you need some, there's some in the hall, and we have some extras around. So grab a couple if you need these, because people are about dog poop.
Roy, we're going to start meeting again now that we're back. March 3rd.
Okay.
Via Zoom as a committee. You'll get an email, I'm sorry.
All right. So if all hearts and minds are clear.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
Last week, there was an accusation against our solicitor, our solicitor's firm, of doing something nefarious, right? And you indicated that you was going to look into it.
Oh,
you
yes.
recall? Can you please?
So
give
I
a
can
summary?
speak to, I have not received, I had asked for that email if I could see what was proposed that they did not respond to when it was provided for right to know. I have not received that. And I did speak to the solicitor to find out, more information on that. And when they went to investigate, the person who requested it did not request it in the right way. And when they were questioned, the question about the residency was not out of order. It was done in the way that it should have been done when the request was made. So again, if the person wants to submit to me what they submitted to say that they were handled unjustly and wrongly, please send that to me. But I've been checking my email and I've not received anything or noticed, any notices that were sent to me, because those things are going to be investigated when they come up to make sure that things are being done the proper way. Now, I do want to make sure that our right to know officer, I want to speak to you, Mr. Nichols, when it comes to that. There is the proper form by law that needs to be filled out, and it needs to be filled out completely, and the request made to the borough for that right to know, whether it's submitted online or whether you come into the office to submit it. It does need to be completed. And it does ask for, to indicate the person's residence and ask for the full name. And I want to state again, because some of those folks who may not have been here, when the emails come in, whichever council person or staff person, we take a look at it and take it seriously. But if it looks as if it is not, first of all, the person doesn't give a full name, and the person's email is not an email that is
we can trust is a valid email, we immediately go to the solicitor to make sure that, is this something that we should respond to or not? So we take all of those things seriously. But you do need to give your full name. It needs to be, if you're emailing, it needs to be a valid email. And they can ask you, and there is a form, and it should be posted on our website, that right to know form that you could go to, and it requests everything that you need to complete, and then clearly indicate what you're requesting under the right to know. But again, according to the right to know law, and we all went through the training to make sure that we were correct, and we are going to make sure that every staff person goes through the training, because there have been some updates to the law, and the state has done this training, there are certain things that are not a part of right to know. Personnel issues are not a part of right to know. I had a resident come to me because they wanted a copy of a citation that was given to someone else and felt they had a right to know. That is not your right to know. That's someone else's personal business. So no, that is not where we're not required to give that information, and particularly when it comes to personnel and litigation issues that are not public record, we cannot discuss that by law. So I just wanted to make those things clear moving forward. So the solicitor was not doing anything nefarious or out of order. They were following the law.
Thank you for that. When people are being accused of things and an investigation takes place and it's founded that nothing was done inappropriately, they deserve to have that announced.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, as I tell people all the time, please call me, residents call me and I respond. If it's something you want to send me via email, you're welcome to do that, but please be clear, please identify who you are, and then that way I can respond. And if it's beyond me, I will make sure that I speak to our solicitor to make sure that you get the response you need. So, if all hearts and minds are clear, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And then have a good night.